Let's bring in David Cochrane, live from Ottawa. He's taken a look at both documents, David. So let's start with the Conservatives. Stephen Harper was just speaking. What's new?
Yeah, not a whole lot new. In fact, it's a reinforcement of the key themes that Stephen Harper's been hammering away at throughout this entire election campaign. The signs behind him: protect the economy. The economy is the #1 priority, and also security of the country. So some of the more specific measures, he's talking about maintaining 4 years of surpluses, projecting that they would balance the budget and have a surplus in all 4 years of a new Conservative mandate. They would maintain things like income splitting and the doubling of the tax-free savings account, and also forge ahead with cuts to things like EI premiums to put money in people's pockets. And of course, the big one that's emerged late in this campaign is finalize the Trans-Pacific Partnership. You know, and throughout the presentation of the platform and recitation of the core Conservative values, there were some videos that Stephen Harper played showing him meeting with an ordinary Canadian family, showing him meeting with seniors, showing him meeting with blue-collar workers, which is really the sort of the voters and the groups that the Conservatives are targeting with their election platform. Because throughout all this campaign, where the polls have shown us that many voters want change, Stephen Harper, as the incumbent, wants people to be reminded of the risk of that change, the tax hikes and the deficits and the spending that is being promised by the other parties versus the stable, low-spending, balanced budget, economic-focused agenda that he is promising. So while the others propose change, he wants you to see that as risk and him as a safe choice. Here's how the Conservative leader summarized it today.
In a troubled world, we are an island of stability. And so, friends, we come back to the choice. We have a low-tax, balanced budget plan. The other parties would take us in a very different direction. The Liberals and NDP have made tens of billions of dollars of spending promises with money they do not have.
Now, Harper says all of that promises tremendous risk, to Canadian families. Say we cannot borrow or tax our way to prosperity. He wants the ballot question on October 19th to be all about the economy. As he has from the beginning, he says he is a safe choice.
Right. And so what about the NDP? What's their platform?
Well, their platform is a 72-page document, the title of which, Reshmi, is Building the Country of Our Dreams. So no heightened expectations in that at all. Some of the key promises there are things we've heard from Tom Mulcair throughout all of this. They're going to raise taxes on corporations to pay for their platform. They're going to get rid of income splitting for everybody except for pensioners and seniors. They're going to also bring in a national $15 a day daycare plan, and they will maintain surplus and balanced budget for 4 years. A key component of this document today was the NDP laying out that even if the economy goes through some difficulty, they will be able to maintain balanced books at least in the first 2 years of their mandate based on what the parliamentary budget officer has been promising. Now, a lot of the questions for Tom Mulcair, though, focus on what happens on October 20th. The polls show us right now that none of the major parties is likely to form a majority government. What would happen on October 20th in a minority situation? Tom Mulcair has ruled out backing Stephen Harper, as has Justin Trudeau. So the questions today for the NDP leader is, what will you do in a minority parliament? Here's some of what he had to say.
We know that every time that we've raised the possibility of collaborating with the Liberals, it's Justin Trudeau who slammed the door shut personally. He went so far as to say, and it was rather personal, but it's worth remembering as well, he said he could work with the NDP as long as I wasn't there. Well, guess what? My priority is to get rid of Stephen Harper on October 19th.
So getting rid of Stephen Harper, the question is how. If the Conservatives win the most seats, all parties have agreed they get the first crack at forming government. But if they do not have a majority, both the Liberals and the NDP have said they will not prop them up. So the final 10 days will clarify that. Though, of course, Reshmi, voters will start voting this weekend. Advance polls are open. In 2011, 2.1 million people voted in the advance polls.
Thanks so much, David.
You got it.